Good morning class, my name is Hiba Qazi and you'll be seeing a lot of me in these videos specially uploaded for CBSE NCERT English Language and Literature. In these unfortunate scenario where you have, especially the students have to be sitting inside their homes without the usual classroom setup, not knowing where to get the resources from, and not knowing what the uncertain future holds for you. This is one of the innovative techniques adopted by us so that you will be benefited sitting right at home and also getting the feel of your classroom right inside you. Before we dive right into the curriculum, let me please brief you that the curriculum uploaded for 2020-21 by CBSE on their official website has already been sent to your official class groups. I hope you have gone through it. If not, kindly do that as soon as possible. Please go through it very minutely as there are certain changes, especially in section B, creative writing, wherein for class 10 CBSE has done away with, please pay attention, done away with story writing altogether. That means for the 10 marks that were allotted to story writing, those 10 marks have been divided into different categories of creative writing for you. Kindly go through it. And for discussing this new curriculum setup, we are going to be uploading a new video very soon. Right now, we are going to begin with one of the finest poetries written by Robert Frost. And I hope nobody has forgotten Robert Frost because we've been dealing with Robert Frost poems right from Standard 4. I hope you remember Crossing by Woods on a Snowy Evening. I hope you remember The Road Not Taken, just done last session in class 9th. Robert Frost is not an unknown poet to all of us, and I need not give you a very long explanation regarding the background of Robert Frost. Regarding the poem that we are going to dive into right now, before we exactly take up the poem, which is a very short poem, and it looks very, very simple, but we do not have to go by the superficiality of the poem at all, and we need to understand the larger meaning, the greater meaning that comes out of it. This poem written by Robert Frost is a wonderfully penned poetry which gives you a deeper enhanced meaning of how an insignificant incident in a person's life changes his life forever. In the scenario that we are living in today, the scary scenario, the unfortunate circumstances, the pandemic creating havoc right across the world, we need to understand that the only thing that binds all of us together in this world is only one, and that is faith. Faith in small things of life that actually keep us together, not letting us give way to any kind of fear, not letting us give up in life, and also motivating all of us to actually pinpoint on small details that come together to make a larger picture of life. Getting into it, let me give you a brief introduction to the poem. As I said, Robert Frost has written immaculate poetry in the past that we have dealt with, and this particular poem that we have in the course for English Language and Literature called Dust of Snow is only an 8-line poem. Yes, an 8-line poem which looks very simple, and the meaning that is sent out, the message that is sent out after the poem is a very beautiful one. The poet here is trying to get into his mood swings. He is in a particular bad mood on a particular day and not knowing what to do about it. He's just standing beneath a tree thinking about the blues that he's facing. The way we face the blues each day as we get up these days, not knowing where to go, what to do with the lockdown, and staying at home becomes more difficult, and how this insignificant incident that happens with him changes his mood, lifts up his spirit, and how things which are supposed to be superstitiously supposed to be bringing bad luck or ill omen turn out to be things which actually bring him good luck and cheer. So, before I proceed with the poem, let us look at the text of the poem here. The poem is called Dust of Snow by Robert Frost. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. Let us take it stanza-wise. As you see, I have already told you that the poem is only an 8-line poem and we have only 2 stanzas. It has been divided into only 2 stanzas. taking up only the first stanza, though the poem runs into continuity. The first stanza, the way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. Here, if you go on to say, no other poem which we have dealt with in the past and which we may deal with in the future will anyway give you a bird named a crow or a tree in the name of hemlock. A hemlock tree is supposed to be a poisonous tree which bears small white flowers, and this particular drink was given to the great wise Socrates when he was put to death. The drink of hemlock was drunk by Socrates before he died. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. So the poet, as is not told to us in the poem, but then a background is given, that due to unknown reasons was in a bad mood and was having a very bad day, and he was standing underneath a hemlock tree, which is supposed to be a poisonous tree, and when suddenly a crow, which was perched on top of the tree, suddenly shook a branch of the tree, maybe because the crow was feeling cold and it shuddered or shivered due to the cold winter wind, and it shook down a dust of snow. Now when we say dust of snow, it actually means the snowflakes, but because the snowflakes are so fine in their components, so fine to look at that they appear just like dust. So a dust of snow is an expression for snowflakes, and the snowflakes fell down on the poet who was standing underneath the hemlock tree. Now here there are three things, please take note of this, there are three things which are told about by the poet that give you, that speak indirectly of death or are considered to be symbols of ill omen or bad luck. Namely, a crow, which is supposed to be a bird which arrives at a funeral, shook down on me a dust of snow. Now when you say dust, it reminds you that human beings will be reduced to dust after their death. That is why this particular word dust here suggests death. And again, a hemlock tree, which is supposed to be poisonous, is also a symbol of death.